guys? Welcome to another reaction video. I think we're going to start calling this series Brent Reacts. So I'm coming at you guys with another paranormal video. This one's going to be a little bit different just because I'm only going to really focus on the beginning part of it, because that is where the biggest issue lies, is actually the beginning part of this. The rest of it actually is your pretty atypical paranormal investigation. I really don't have anything to say negatively or like positive about the rest of it. It seems as though this group, or rather this husband and wife team, they take a lot of care, it seems, to investigate the rest. So really what I'm focusing mainly on is three things. The first is they give you no historical context whatsoever on what this building is, or why they're even there. I can't explain the why part, but we are going to go into at least give you guys a little bit of historical understanding for this, because again, I think that's important. It seems just like they were trying to rush through this, and granted, they might have been. I believe they said they were in this one room for like 3 hours, which it would not surprise me if that's actually how long. But something kind of happens in the beginning of this. There's two things that happen. One, they use an Estes method, but it's really dangerous as to like how this happens, and then they make a certain argumentation that I have to give context on, because just because you say something or you believe something doesn't make it actually entirely true. So that's the dangers of this particular method that we're going to be going over. But this team is called Urban Ghost Urban Exploration. In comparison to a lot of the other paranormal teams, I would say they're like the mid-size. I would say they're not the hugest channel. They're definitely not the smallest, and they do pretty much stay neutral for the most part through the rest of it. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is the history of where they're at. So this property is the Willwood Sanitarium. And I went to their website just to give you guys a little bit of historical information, because honestly, they don't give you anything, which is fine, but I think it's important, obviously, to give some context where, it would more so explain as to why they're there, but it seems as though they know the owners, and like this is a place that is really familiar to them in some capacity, or the people that are involved, and it seems like they know the owners. And again, like I can't say anything on that part, and I'm not going to say anything about that part. But what we are going to do real quick is I'm going to read you the history of the Willwood Sanitarium, just to give you context from a historical background. So the Willwood Sanitarium was built in the 1900s and bought by Dr. John Henderson and Dr. Carol Perry in 1903. The two doctors went to college for, I'm probably going to butcher the name of this, osteopathy. Yeah, you can see the word right there. I'm trying. If I didn't say it right, don't be too mean. A branch of medical practice that emphasizes the treatment of medical disorders through the manipulation and massage of bones, joints, and muscles. So this is probably similar to like chiropractors or massage therapists, but so like for example, like the type of patients that they would have would be like a patient like myself who has constant muscle spasms and really doesn't understand why that's happening, and there's not really an official medical reason necessarily for a lot of these different movement type disorders. So I would imagine that that's the type of patients that they had. And again, like I'm not trying to put myself into the story. I'm just trying to imagine exactly what they're they're talking about within the context. Dr. Henderson, along with his partner, Dr. Perry, and a staff of 3 nurses, Bertha, Agnes, and Sue, spent 7 years preparing the building to house of 12 full-time patients, along with people seeking treatments in their renovated bathhouse located in the basement. Then it was open as a holistic private hospital in 1909. They offered cold baths, hot baths, electric battery baths, which that sounds terrifying to me. Let's see here, light bath therapy and other homeopathic treatments. They treated all types of patients with various ailments as drug addiction, alcoholism, mental issues, or they needed treatment for other contagious disease are all welcome. So it seems like they did a little bit of everything, but they try to focus on mental health. They try to focus on like muscle and tendon manipulation, which again, like more than likely, like they would have considered me as a patient in a building like this just because of the spasms and all that type of stuff. Let's see here. Walter Freeman also performed lobotomies during this time, which lobotomies are not good. Let's see here. The doctors were eventually forced by the state to open up as a sanitarium to treat tuberculosis in 1923 due to the pandemic at the time. Dr. Henderson passed away in 1941. It was owned by his family until 1946. Dr. Perry also passed in 1941, and he was only 56. Both doctors had been married, while Dr. Perry had no children, but Dr. Henderson had 3, but lost 2 of them, but had been married twice. His first wife had passed away. In the early 50s, the building became 3 apartments and stayed apartments for 30 years, and afterwards was owned by different families, and it had sat vacant a couple of times. The building was bought by the Wagatha family in 2017, which is now currently an active restoration project funded by being open for paranormal investigators. All right, guys. So there you have it. That's the history, the quick synopsis, I would say, of the history of it. Again, I'm not familiar with this particular place. There's a bunch of places all over the United States like this. But so what we're basically gonna focus on in this video is probably around the first 30 minutes. And what I'm actually gonna do this time is I'm gonna give a little bit of biblical context to some of the claims that they're making here. Now, generally, I don't have an issue with some of these different methods, but this particular one I do. I've always had an issue with it. It is a very dangerous method to use for a lot of reasons, but we're going to point out the obvious ones in this one. And I just want to say to the people that did this investigation and run this particular YouTube channel, this is not an attack on you guys. This isn't me disrespecting what you guys have done or anything like that. This is just me explaining the cautions of context because again, that's mainly what we're looking at here. We're looking at the context and we're looking at the overall investigation. Now, as I said already, I want to make it very clear, I do not have a problem with any of the investigation past the 30-minute mark. But I do with the first 30 minutes. And all I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to paint the right picture and explain that words do matter, okay? And for the context in this, the words do in fact matter. And the way that you generally reacted and some of the statements are a bit on the inconsistent side. And again, please by no means take this personally if you guys end up watching this. This is just me kind of pointing out something from a theological standpoint. Most of the time, I would much rather be able to point out the theological aspects of paranormal investigation. And I do when I can, but some of them don't really require this type of a reaction to it. In this context, it does, just because of what was said. And again, I mean no disrespect to anybody. These guys do actually a great job overall. But these little issues make all of the difference in the world, when it comes to this type of a problem. Okay? Don't have a problem with the investigation. I don't have a problem with the tools that they use. May not agree with them, but that doesn't mean, just because I disagree with those tools doesn't mean that you can't profit from those tools being used in some capacity. Now, one thing that I wasn't really paying attention to, which is my fault, was where the placement of these tools are. Generally speaking, it sounds like they're using their phone, which I have debates about that myself, but nothing is necessarily wrong with the context of how they're doing it. The only thing, like I said, and we're going to watch it together, and I'm going to let it play, and where I need to stop it at, I will stop it at and give more context. Okay? So hopefully this will be good for you guys, and hopefully you'll profit from this, just for clarity on when investigators and or people that are doing this type of stuff. It's something that you really, really need to pay attention to, and it's important, because you can really lead a person astray very quickly if you're not really looking at it from the right lens. So let me quit talking here, and we'll bring this up, and let me move. Not that. Let me move. No. Hang on one second, guys. I'm having technical difficulties here. I'm going to move this up to the top corner. I think that's going to be the best spot to be able to see what's going on here. I'm going to shrink myself down a little bit, and we'll go from there. All right, let me turn this off, and here we go.
Utilized for seances in this house. Actually, also one of the favorite locations for this gentleman here, who sadly is no longer with us, and he is said to still be here. In fact, he utilizes this device here, pendulum, to write messages from time to time. So, very interesting. So we're gonna see what we can get here.
And like I said, they don't tell you where they're at, but that's kind of why I did the little historical overview. They don't really say where they're at, which is fine. They just want to get right into the investigation. And I appreciate that, actually. No time wasted when it comes to getting into the investigation. So
I sit here. We're gonna do a live session. I'm gonna get started here right out the gate. On Estes Method.
And guys, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the Estes or Estes Method. I'm not really sure exactly how you say it, but this is the main thing that we're talking about today. This and the very next thing that takes place after this. So that's the main focus, is on this, and I'm going to give you guys, like I said, some biblical understanding, the biblical context to this. So without further ado, let's just get into this.
Are you upset that we're here, and are we bothering you?
Yesterday.
Yeah. What about yesterday? Is that you walking around?
Something out.
Did you say your name? If Jeremy is here, I'd like to hear from you. I know you love this place so much.
Can I be honest? I like it better when they don't have a name. And I don't think they do this here. I really don't. But a lot of investigators, if they have a name, they just beat it over your head the whole entire time. I think they do a pretty good job on not doing that. But I'd rather a person go in to these types of locations with no understanding, no knowledge, no names, because to me, it looks more authentic. Again, that's just my personal opinion. You can throw that out or you can take it, but that's kind of how I perceive this stuff. So,
you fool.
Jeremy, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. Are you here with us?
I feel bad for you.
You feel bad for me?
He's coming.
Who's coming? Who is here with me right now? Could you please say your name? Oh my gosh, you haven't seen this place.
Him.
Who's him?
For you to leave.
Worry.
As that goes true to say worry.
Stop. Kids saw the whole thing.
Kids saw the whole thing?
You.
You? Good night, Josh. Oh my God. Jeremy, what caused you? You felt a pain. It's a heartbreaking thing. What caused that?
Stop.
And are we bothering you by doing this? Trying to communicate with you? You want us to leave you alone?
Something's...
that was really weird, guys. I don't know if y'all heard the bug, like buzzing past the microphone there, but I didn't hear that until I put my headphones on. Kind of funny there.
He's already here.
What's the name of the kid that saw the whole thing that you were just referring to?
With you.
Who's with me?
Back. Get back.
Get back from what? Who's? What are you trying to say? Did you say your name? What are your intentions? You're so horrible, oh my gosh, man.
I wish I could do it for you.
You should do what for me? Do what?
I'll reward you.
Reward me? For what?
Welcome.
Who is here? Can I get one name maybe?
Stop.
Why can't I get a name? Why are you blocking names? Jeremy, are you here?
Hurt you. I'm coming for you.
Coming from me?
Speaker.
I sure whispered. Gosh, you guys, I sure whispered.
Let's share.
What
Out.
The chair out?
Out here.
Chair out of here. What? Am I speaking with a spirit? Do you not like this chair? Is there a chair in here you don't like? There's a few chairs in here.
Who's speaking?
All right, so I'm just going to point this out so far. So the female investigator, I'm assuming that's his wife. She's kind of trying to build a narrative here, but it's not really. she's doing it in a way that's not intrusive. Okay, like I don't have an issue with the way that she's doing it because she's just trying to make sense out of what's being said. I do think it's a bit strange, like, and it's kind of proven that when you do anything related to a spirit box, you really can't necessarily take that as actual fact. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the way that she's kind of trying to build a story from this. But let's just see where this goes, because like once you guys see where this goes and the points that I'm gonna make here, I think you'll change your opinion a little bit, as to the whole entire context that this is in. So.
Get her.
Oh my gosh. Who are you? Who are you?
You have to leave.
Why do we have to leave?
Got you.
Oh,
Both of you.
what?
She's gonna hate you. You have to leave.
No, wait, okay, you guys.
Blessed.
Blessed. It's blessed.
Yeah, we heard that.
Oh.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna stop him. He's been going for too long. Hold on.
Alright, I want you guys to pay close attention as to what his general reaction is here, but also what's said after he comes out of this.
I've been touching you.
Do you want to stop? You gonna stop? Babe. Babe. Babe.
What?
Wait, are you serious right now?
What?
Serious? Because
What? Get off of me.
No, what's going on? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Who are you?
I am really not sure here when it comes to the beads. I'm assuming they're prayer beads. That's what I'm assuming. But don't really fully understand the context of that in this particular situation. Especially with what they say after he becomes more conscious, basically. So.
Float. What's the matter?
You don't know what's the matter? Honey, wake up. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I couldn't wake you up from the Estes.
What?
Serious, no, I couldn't wake you up from the Estes. I was sitting there, I was like, you didn't know what's going on. Are you okay?
Okay, so I'm about to explain as to what's going on in this situation right here, okay? But before I do, I want you guys to listen as to his understanding of it, his wife's understanding of this, and then the overall encompassing thing that they're saying. Again, I'm not trying to take anything that they're saying out of context. I want them to say it for themselves before I kind of go into this a little bit farther as to what's going on here.
That like went in.
That said the craziest stuff
What?
ever. We're on live stream still, but it said the craziest stuff. It said it was coming after both of us, and it's gonna make me hate you or something.
What?
Yeah. And like it seemed like it was concentrating like on me at first, and then like it started saying stuff about you too, and then it said
You know what's weird? It's like,
and he said he's coming a couple times, and I kept trying to contact Jeremy, and it didn't let me.
I was having such a kind of hard time, and then like I just decided to just like start really just letting almost like I was floating away, and then like honest to goodness, that's the first time I ever done SDs where I honest to goodness didn't want to stop ever. Like I was painless, I was floating, I was blissful, and it was just in blackness, just empty, not light, just empty blackness. I was just floating, and I didn't want to leave it. And the freaking ghost tube said, possessed. You think that could, is that, that's what scares me the most, because anytime I've run into something like that, everything in my gut says stop. Everything in my gut says stop. But for the first time though, I like really just gave myself away. I just like opened up completely. I let it go.
Oh my god.
And you know that happened to my grandmother, where she almost didn't come back. I want to finish this investigation. There's no way I'm stopping. We're staying here the whole night. There's no way I'm stopping.
No, I'm like,
I wanna know what just happened.
I'll be honest, like.
Because the owner of the house, guys, seriously told us during Paranormal Lockdown, the TV show,
Yeah.
they asked her one question that she would like answered. She said, why was I compelled to have to buy this place?
Right.
She could not let it go. She had to have this place.
Right. That scares me because we've both felt like we were obsessed with this place.
Right, and remember, you walked out and you're like, I love this place. I want to buy
We
this
were
and
just
live
in
in
the
it.
base. We finished the last time
Yeah.
we finished the last live stream. We went to go sit on the porch and go on the swing.
Right.
And I was just, we were walking out. I'm like, oh, I love this house. I just want to live here. Oh my gosh.
You know what?
It's weird and so scary, and I don't get it.
Before we started filming, I forgot we were going to say a prayer. As soon as I walked in the house, it was gone. I wonder how much this house legitimately has really potent, powerful stuff in it. It can really do that to you.
I wonder.
I lost time. I don't know how long I was doing SDs, how long we've been doing, because the live, that's just like almost a half an hour. How? I'm so busy.
When you stopped, it was like 28 minutes.
And I felt it going. I felt myself going, but it felt so nice.
Yeah?
Like I was just going to go to sleep. And it was wonderful. And I was gone. I was gone. I was gone. I wasn't here anymore. It was just, all I saw was empty darkness, and I felt this. All right, I'm gonna turn down Ghost Tube. I want to try VLX and see what we can get.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it here, and we're gonna go over some stuff. So the first thing that I'm gonna point out is he's saying that he drifted away somewhere, right? And can this happen? That's the first question. Not only can it happen, there is a name for it. Now, I don't know what their background is, and that's totally fine. But that particular thing that is what happened, okay, is called astral projection. Now, he may genuinely not know that. This is a practice that New Age and the occult use pretty extensively, actually. It's a meditation state that you can get yourself into, whether it be white noise, whether it be melodic music, whether it be drums. That was the means as to how I used to do it when I was within that world. I used drums, and so like the most common, I would say, generally speaking, when you're talking about astral projection, would be from the shamanistic point of view. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, that these guys are shamans. But what I am saying is that's the name of what happened. He had a moment where, through the manipulation of white noise and just a calm state, and again, like, they were in a seance room, which I don't know if they made that clear or not necessarily, but they were in a seance room. Now, that could have contributed to a deeper state, or it had nothing to do with it. I mean, like, we don't really know, and we can't really say the context from that point. And when he was talking about prayer, he said, as soon as I went into the house, everything left my mind. Okay, well, we're going to focus more on the biblical response to this, okay, as a whole. Now, I'm going to let them say a few more things, and then we'll dive into that a little bit. That way you guys can better understand where I'm coming from here, and my concern for using the Estes Method, or the Estes Method. That's really the main focus of this, and then the other thing that they're going to do shortly after this has been a known issue for probably like 1,000 years, and how it works. I'm going to explain generally how it always works for well, not always, but most of the time this is how it works. So let's get back to the video here. I'm going to let them say a few more things, and then we'll break it down.
Huh? Yeah, where'd my flashlight go?
You also said something about the chair, like get the chair out of here.
I said something about a chair?
Yeah, I don't know if it was talking about this chair, but it said get the chair out of here, or something like that. Yeah. What did it say?
Something about friend something.
Friend?
Something about a friend. Something about friend to me.
I hate saying that.
I didn't understand what it said, to be honest, guys.
Careful. I think it said careful. Careful. This door has been opened. Residential.
It said residential. Interesting.
We are children of God and we are protected. You are not permitted to take or use our bodies. That's rule number 1. We're here to communicate with you. We are not vessels for you.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. And this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to go into Logos, which is the thing that I most frequently use when it comes to all right, so where are we at here? We are at Deuteronomy 18, okay? And we're going to read verses 9 through 14. Okay, so when you enter into the land which Yahweh gives you, you shall not learn to imitate the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who practices soothsaying, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who is an enchanter, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who inquires of the dead. Okay, so this is the most important part, guys. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh, your God, will dispossess them from before you. You shall be blameless before Yahweh your God. For those nations you shall dispossess. Listen to those who practice soothsaying or to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your God has not allowed you to do so. Why is this important? Okay, why is that important? Well, I'm just going to say it simply like this. Whether you do the Christian card or not, okay, you are already doing a practice that God sees as an abomination here. So what they're doing is divination. What they're doing is necromancy. When you are putting yourself in a certain position, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, into a meditation state, to allow things, allow voices, spirits, whatever you decide to call them that day, and you allow them to speak to you and use you as a vessel. So it's a contradiction, my friend, of what you did, what you just said. Okay, so in order for you to be consistent with this, the statement that you said of you are protected because you are a child of God, you're already being inconsistent with the worldview, because you can't be a paranormal investigator. You can't be doing any of these types of practices and also believe that you can be a Christian. Now, again, I don't know your heart. You could very well be a Christian, but I want to warn you, and anybody else that does this method, I seriously want to warn you as to what the context of this is saying. The word abomination is a very, very serious word from the biblical context. It's only used a handful of times throughout Scripture. So what does that mean? That means even if you call Jesus Lord, okay, that God still sees those acts as abomination, meaning he hates them, he despises them, he loathes them, okay? So you can play the Jesus card all day long there, okay? But the problem is that you're already committing a crime against your own belief system, okay? So I want you to really think about that the next time you try to actually go in and investigate a place. And I'm very serious right now, okay? You cannot go into a place and do a paranormal investigation. You can't go into a place and say all these different types of things and open yourself up to anything that could potentially be demonic, and then play the Christian card and say, well, we're a child of God. Well, yes, by proxy, all of us are children of God because we are image bearers of Christ. So that part is true. But you can't go in there saying, well, you can't touch me. Let me tell you something. You've already allowed them to do so. You've already allowed them to do that. You've already opened yourself up to it, okay? And that act right there is not, it can't be from the Christian context. It's from outside the Christian worldview. So again, why are we trying to play something here, okay, that you're literally playing with fire. You're literally playing with something that God hates. Even if you have Jesus as a focal point of your belief system, and you still go back and do these things, you're still committing the crime, my friends. You're still committing the crime. So, my concern here is that you need to repent from this. You need to at least acknowledge the fact of your inconsistency here. Because I guarantee you that if you continue on this path, if anybody keeps continuing on this path of making claims or doing these types of methods, opening yourself up, because again, you contradicted yourself. You said that, oh, well, we didn't give you permission. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You literally said, the minute that you decided to do that method was the minute that you decided to open up yourselves. Now, am I saying that this is necessarily demonic? No. What I am saying is that this is inconsistent when it comes to understanding Scripture and when it comes to understanding your own worldview. Okay? This is a very serious crime against God, especially when you say that you're a believer, okay? Because now it's going to come to a time, right, when that judgment day comes, and you're going to stand before Christ as the person who judges the living and the dead, okay? And you're going to stand before him, and you're going to say, but God, I believed in you. Jesus, I believed in you. You're my king. You know what he's going to say? Because of this, I never knew you. Yeah, that's what Jesus is going to say. If you decide to continue down this path of using these types of methods, that is what Christ is going to say to you. And I hope and I pray that anyone that does this, that makes that contradiction, it puts a deep scar inside of your soul that you have to repent for. This is my biggest problem, okay? And it's not just with this group, it's across the board. You can't do the I'm the child of God or I believe in Jesus card when you're already doing something that literally the text says abomination. Okay? So I want that to sink in. I really want that to sink in, guys. So let's get back to this because there's one more issue that I have. And this one, it'll be interesting because I've seen this done hundreds, if not thousands of times, and I never believed it then, and I still don't believe it now. So let's go ahead and get back into this.
Will you respect that? Of course.
Of course.
It didn't say that, I don't think.
It said of course.
Yeah, of course. It did.
Then can you tell me what just happened?
I just explained that,
Was
guys.
somebody trying to take me over?
Yes, they were.
Can you please clarify?
Redemption.
Redemption.
I don't know.
Again, if the word that they're using here as redemption if it means repentance, then yeah, I agree. But that, again, like, I can't understand half the words that those things say. And again, like, I don't think that they're in this moment like trying to make up words. I think they are being genuine here, but it's I don't know. I've always had an issue with those devices, but let's keep watching because we're not there yet.
She did say this big for shadow figure. I mean, there's really powerful stuff here.
Yes.
Where did I?
Shadow figures most of the time can be debunked. If you guys want to know a good way to debunk them, my last video I did actually on Mythos. He did a great job, but he gave you kind of a rough understanding of how shadows work. I'm not going to repeat all that again. If you want to watch that, go back and watch that video. But most shadow figures can easily be explained because they're definitely not usually what people think they are.
I go. I went to some kind of.
I went up. You went up. That's what it just said.
I went to some kind of a dark place where there was no pain. Can you tell?
Oh, there's pain there, but it's a different type of pain. Again, like, this is another issue in amongst New Agers and the occults. Again, not saying that that's what they're doing here. I want to make that clear. But the way that they understand and perceive hell within the New Age and the occults, they see it as nothingness. They see it as a calm. That's what they see hell as. This great darkness. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay? Hell is not that. Hell is a full wrath and judgment of God for all eternity. That is what hell is. So, I get the context of what he's saying here, but that some people would probably call a spiritual realm. Me, I don't call it any of those things because it's just it's a place that can be went to, and again, like, the context of astral projection, that makes it consistent, within the context of that. So
Tell me what that was.
astral projection, just it.
The treatment. It said the treatment.
They don't give you any historical context here, so again, treatments, as we saw, that this was a hospital, basically an unorthodox hospital that tried to do natural remedies. So the treatment actually is referencing the history of the place. If you ask me, they're not going to mention that because they don't tell you any of the history of the building that they're in. But again, like, just think about that.
Right?
A part of you.
Oh,
I think it said a part of you.
Ah.
Was that the other side? Was that purgatory?
Okay, all right. I got to clear this up really, really quick. If you are a Christian, okay, a Protestant Christian, purgatory is not something that even exists within Even if you try to make it exist within the context of Scripture, it doesn't exist. That is only from the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church came up with that as a way to basically give money to the church. Okay? Now, those of you that are Catholic, if I'm wrong, you can definitely correct me. But this is kind of, honestly, how the church made money back hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Because they would say, oh, well, your family members are in purgatory. So if you give us money, we'll free them by saying a prayer to some saint that's not Christ, and they'll be set free from that and be able to be with you up in heaven. It's not any type of real Christian doctrine, okay? So why they're saying that, I have no idea.
It's like responding immediately. It's creepy.
Oh.
What? Are you okay?
I swear I just saw something in the corner of my eye across this doorway here.
Oh my god. The tripod definitely scared me for a split
Yeah.
second.
Can you please explain to me where I went? Did I leave my body? Was it an out-of-body experience?
I've already done that twice. I've already explained to you as to what was taking place. It was a deep meditation state. And it's very, very, even if you're a believer, it's a very dangerous place to be.
Or was I being suppressed somehow? Was I being taken over? What was happening? It came on to you or something like that?
It came on?
That isn't what I heard.
It's some lightning?
Hello, this is Lady of the Night. See, how can I assist you?
It knows we moved the chair though.
Yeah. Do you not like that we moved the furniture around? Is it not okay that we move some of this furniture? Do you like it where it is? Is that what it is? Did you not like it? Is it not okay that I sat in that chair? What was that?
That was me.
Okay.
Sorry.
You scared me. I don't know, man.
Did you see?
I might have.
That's exactly what I heard, and I heard it once before already, so take it how you want it, guys.
Sounded like
Are you able
weird.
to email me all that information so I can review it? I might have to send it over to another department.
I'm in there.
To review, but could you email that to me? That would
I'm
be
in
the best.
there, and where?
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm in where?
This one.
In the seance room?
Are you in the room with the pendulum?
Okay.
By the way, guys, there's no G in pendulum. It's true. Look it up.
You too. Thank you. Bye. Sorry.
Did she hop fast? I thought.
Again, if they would have looked at the history of the building, they would have known that. But they didn't. They didn't tell you anything about the past. So that was probably relevant to the past of the building. But if you don't look at the history and you don't say the history, it's not really going to be anything relatable when it comes to the context. So, yeah.
Were you here for treatments? Something girl. For the girl. What girl? Are you here for Kate? don't know. Did someone summon you here or bring you here?
Probably. There is a seance room, just saying.
This is crazy. Then suddenly just nothing, right?
Yeah.
Are you in one? Are you in one of the dolls?
Oh, geez, not again.
Can you just tell me where you are? We finished up Estes. We did another live, guys. Something crazy's happened, and somehow we've been up here for like 2 hours, and I don't even know where the time is going. Very, very confusing. And I think this house is starting to really kind of have an effect. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. There's a ton more to really look at. But this, of course, is the seance room. She did say they do seances in here. I don't know what might be in here.
What do you think? I mean, seriously, a seance room, and you're saying you don't know what they conjured? Really? Okay, if you say so.
Other than what she mentioned, possibly could be Jeremy. What was that?
What?
Cue the random noises.
Also, someone, a young boy named Thomas could be in here. I don't know what else. I want to go ahead and set. Oh!
I wasn't recording.
All right. Also, again, I make a comment about cat balls in the previous reaction video that I did with Mythos. I'm just going to say this. They're a toy for cats, and cats don't even play with them. I do not like them. I don't find them credible. And they really shouldn't be used as an investigation tool because, again, it's just a toy. So I don't see any credibility in the cat balls, to be completely honest. That's actually a new thing within probably the past couple of years. I had never seen that, in the 20 plus years that I've been doing this stuff up until recently. So, like I said, you can see that as evidence or not. Me, I don't like them. I don't find them credible. But kudos to them for trying, at least.
No.
I'm gonna put this one in here.
Sleep, it said.
Sleep?
You were in like a sleep-like state.
Right.
I couldn't wake you up.
Okay, so something here was trying to make me sleep.
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
Why would it do that?
They were trying to manipulate you, which is exactly what happened.
What that was about. Why? Why was that happening?
Because you allowed it to. Duh. Why would you ask a question on why it happened? You're the reason as to why it happened. You allowed yourself to go into that state and be manipulated. That's exactly what happened. Why is that so shocking?
Are you? You also have these light up balls here. If you could touch them for us. It lights up so I can know which direction to head. I'm trying to speak to whoever caused that issue.
It's not so much as a who as it is a what. That's all I'm going to say.
You also have these devices here, these pendulums. If you can move them for us, use them to make a sign, make a word, anything, whatever you'd like to do.
The house?
The house. Was it the house? Was it the house that was trying to make me sleep?
Alright, I'm just going to do this real quick because I want to deal with the elephant in the room for a second here. Alright, so I've done a video on this before, but I actually, in fact, have one of the things that they use as far as a phone's concerned. Okay? And I want to show you guys how easily a person can actually do this. Now, they're doing something actually correct here, which is having it on a table. But I'm going to show you. Look, That's the spirit talker, right? Now watch this. It's loading, right? So I'm not gonna provoke it in any way, shape, or form, but watch.
Oppression. I took my last breath here. Kevin.
And it goes on and on and on and on. Okay? That's how easy it is to manipulate these things to do that. You simply just have to turn the phone. So I don't find them horribly credible. But considering they actually had it sitting on a table the whole time, it is more credible if you do that. But those that carry their phone around like that, even if you turn it halfway, it's still going to do that. It's how those apps are designed, and that's how the sensors are actually being used. So I don't find them horribly credible, but how you can make it more credible is setting it down somewhere and isolating it from everything else. So I give them some props for at least doing that, but most people don't even do that. They don't take the care to do that. So let's get back to it.
That's always constantly. I think it could be just like, I don't know. It's constantly moving though.
It picks up on any vibration, and because it's a string, yeah, that makes sense.
You can use these devices with these word tables to speak with us too. You seem to be doing it pretty well. This is the most insane experience of my life. What a I swear, every time we go to a different place, it's like up in the freaking ante. Things are getting wild up in here.
Yeah, if you guys say so.
Relative.
Relative?
And it said, what did it say? It said grandmother?
It said grandmother, brother.
And brother?
Yeah, and relative. Was it in a response to something? I think I just heard like a thump downstairs. Really? I keep coming back in this room and I can't stop. And it's freaking me out. It is? I thought that was the third floor. Who's the basement?
That's the door to the basement.
GTFO. Seriously?
Yes.
Wait. It scared me.
Blaine.
You see how they're so inconsistent, guys? Like seriously, these apps are extremely inconsistent. Although, like I said, I'm giving them a little bit of credit here because they do have the device isolated on the table. They're not close to it. They're not manipulating it. But again, to me, it just sounds random at this point. That's honestly for you guys to decide. And obviously, some of the words they take as oh, that's interesting, and the other things that they say, they try to put together. But I don't know. At this point, it's not really effective as far as an investigation is concerned, as far as using that particular app. Just because it seems random. But again, that's just my personal opinion, which, take it or leave it.
What are you referring to? What?
There's a cold spot right here. You feel it?
Oh, jeez.
You don't feel it? There's a cold spot right.
Okay, so supposedly spirits can manipulate the temperature of a room when they're close. Now, they're in an extremely, extremely old building. This building was built at the turn of the century, okay? It probably has been updated a couple of different times. However, all the doors that you see are original. The floors that they're walking on are more than likely original. Now, the upstairs obviously is in a worse state because they're still renovating this particular property. But are you not taking into consideration that you could be getting a draft from the window or a cross breeze from somewhere, given the fact that the windows are old? More than likely, they're also original, and the doors don't exactly seal properly. Are you taking any of that into consideration when you're talking about cold spots? That's what I want to know.
It's only on my legs. It's only on my legs.
It's right where we're standing.
It's up to my hips. It's only at my legs.
That's crazy. Are you in this room with us right now? If you're in this room,
Can't breathe?
can't breathe. You can't breathe? Oh,
What does that have to do with it? If you're talking to a spirit, why do you care if they're breathing or not? I mean, just think about that for a second. Again, you can't take all of the things that these devices and these apps say as credible. It makes no sense when you think about that, like from a logical perspective. I can't breathe. Okay, well, you're a ghost or you're a spirit. Good for you. You can't breathe. I mean, like that doesn't mean anything. You know, like I don't know why they had that reaction to it, but anyways, let's continue.
Yeah.
you heard it? You heard that, right?
It's not really funny. Volume. I heard something.
Hold on.
Let me remind you, you are in a house that is over 100 years old. So, if you're in a house that's over 100 years old, what's going to happen to the house? It's going to settle, okay? Noises are normal in any house, even if it's new. But given the fact that it is over 100 years old in the place that you're at, are you not taking any of that into consideration? Understand where you're at. Understand to think about this stuff logically if you hear a noise. 95% of the time, probably 98% of the time, if you really want me to be honest, most noises inside of buildings are not paranormal. But because you're already spooked and you've already had different experiences happen, you're going to be on edge. So you're going to think that every single little noise is paranormal, when a lot of times it can actually be scientifically explained if you just think logically about the situation. You know, it's just food for thought, guys. I mean, I don't understand why any paranormal investigator has this type of reaction when it comes to knowing that you're inside of an old building. They're gonna make noise, you know, like that's just what they do. My wife and I's house that we live in, this place was built in the early 70s. It makes noise. That's just what houses do. So I don't take a lot of concern in these types of like noises like that, which I didn't even hear a noise, to be completely honest. So, but let's continue, because I think we're almost to the spot that I want to cover here. I just wanted to try to keep everything within context and not skip over anything, you know, because again, like I want you to hear it from their context, not just mine.
Thomas?
Is Thomas in here? Tommy? Oh my gosh! I'll throw something? No. What are you gonna throw? Throw it. Oh my god, you feel the chill?
Yeah.
It's intense. It's coming through from here. I feel it. It's flowing through you.
Can you throw one of these cat balls? I have one on the bed here. And one on the table. What is that? Where's that coming from?
What is that?
All right, something to point out here. So I have been around music and microphones a good majority of my life. Sorry guys, that was Lydia over there. She I think
Sorry.
she had some bag of chips or something over there, so I apologize.
Sorry.
It's all good. I just wanted them to know what that noise was.
No, it was a ghost.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So in this situation, right, when someone has a microphone, right, all microphones are directional. There's bidirectional, there's omnidirectional, and there's one more that I can't think about right this second. But what I'm saying is, unless that microphone, right, is pointed directly in the direction that they say that a noise is coming from, there's no way for anybody to hear it. So whether you have a lapel mic, right, that's extremely popular for a lot of creators, which Lydia and I use them. They're directional, so they're only gonna the direction of the microphone is only gonna pick up whatever direction it's in. So if I have it clipped here, where's the direction of the microphone gonna go? It's gonna go straight up. And so if you have a what they use is a boom mic, which is a microphone that is omnidirectional, which means it picks up on the whole entire direction around it. You still have to have it faced in the direction that the noise is coming from. So again, if you don't have the microphone directly pointed at the direction, whether it's bidirectional, omnidirectional, or any type of directional microphone, it still has to be pointed in that direction. So no, I didn't hear a noise, and I'm very glad that they don't have like music playing in the background, you know, like they're trying to be legitimate in that aspect. But most of the time, you're not going to be able to hear a noise from the microphone unless it's loud enough to be heard throughout pretty much the whole house. And that's just the way that microphones and technology works, guys. Like that's not me like critiquing them in this moment. But no, we're not going to be able to hear it just because you have a directional microphone. That's how microphones legitimately work. So no, we didn't hear it. But you know, I'm glad that you guys are taking the time at least to not put music back behind it and try to make it flashy and stuff. You're sticking to what works, and that's a good thing.
Thomas?
On your extra voices, I just
Yeah.
heard a dude.
Thomas, are you in this room?
Battle.
See how it's not making sense, guys?
What do you mean by battle?
Yeah, please explain that one to me.
Jeremy, are you with us tonight? Are you with us in this room? Who are we speaking with right now? Who is speaking to us? Who are we hearing?
It's very lonely, man.
Your ghost tube hasn't gone off at all.
No, it hasn't. I just checked it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not going on.
Is it very lonely here? Well, you can't come with us. We can't take you with us. Is that what if that's what you're implying, if that's what you're getting at? Is there a reason that you haven't tried to leave, try to go somewhere else, try to move on?
I just heard a response.
Where?
It was audible.
Where? Behind you?
Again,
Dirty.
directional microphone. You're not going to hear it.
I think woman of the night or lady of the night.
Uh-huh. Are you saying you're dirty? Like unclean?
You heard the door shut?
What door?
I just heard the door shut. Downstairs. I swear to God.
It wasn't outside?
I don't know. I might have been.
Do you think you're too dirty to move on?
That was him.
Oh! That was him?
You said you heard a door?
No!
And it said,
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like these types of moments, you can't overthink this, okay? My response, if I was in that situation, would have been going towards the noise and actually trying to investigate it, not freaking out over something that a phone or a device said. That to me isn't as important as what it is to make sure that nobody's trying to break into the property. That would have been my first instinct, to be completely honest. But I don't fully understand like what the excitement and the gasp are for what was just being said. I mean, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But might have been one of those you had to be there moments.
that was him.
Who? It was who? It was a Jeremy?
And again, that's why I don't like it when investigators have names, because they try to beat it over the head throughout the whole entire video. They haven't done a lot of that, but having a name isn't always helpful. Guys, remember that. Yeah, especially investigators out there. Just because you may have a name doesn't mean that you need to use it. If you want your investigation to be as legit as possible, you need to understand that even though you have a name, don't make it known that you have a name until it's relevant to do so. That would really impress me. When it comes to having a name and then verifying the fact that that name is actually associated with something. Not keep saying a name and hoping it pops up because, well, it doesn't. I'm just going to say it honestly. I don't believe that name pops up in any of the investigation. So having a name is not always helpful.
This is crazy.
I have no words.
So don't use words.
You haven't even been able to leave this room. How
You could have, but you keep standing there.
crazy is that? Between this and the doll room.
It's actually wonderful.
You haven't even been able to really do anything with Tommy's room.
That's the doll room.
I know, but I mean, this is the only other room we've gone into so far. Oh, wow.
No, you went into the other one as well, on the other side.
Didn't we leave the light on in the basement?
Huh?
Isn't there a light on?
That's not the basement. You keep getting mixed up. The basement's over there.
Oh.
This is to the third floor,
okay.
remember?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry. I won't mess up.
I know there's a lot of stairs. This house is very confusing, and for whatever reason makes it even more confusing to people. I don't know why. I'm gonna try dowsing rods as like maybe pink.
Okay, this is what I was waiting for, and I'm gonna let them do the spiel, okay, because it is a spiel, and then I'm going to explain as to why I absolutely cannot stand and despise dowsing rods, and give you a little historical background as to why I don't like them and why they should be never ever be used in any investigation.
Pendulum? You want to try the pendulum? You want to try our pendulum?
Oh, she said that's what
There's no G in pendulum. Just saying.
to do in here.
Yeah?
Is the dowsing rods and the pendulum?
Yeah, let's try that.
Alright, you've got two devices here again. Utilize them to speak with us. We've got pendulums here you can utilize as well. I'm going to ask.
All right, first let me give you a little bit of historical information on these dowsing rods. They originally were designed to find water, okay? Now, is there anybody that's ever found water with them? I honestly have no idea. That is actually one of the most ancient devices when it comes to finding water or basically verifying whether or not something is a ghost or a spirit. This was actually used, I believe, through the Salem witch trials. I mean, like, it literally is one of the most ancient devices. So, knowing the fact that it was originally used for water, why did it switch over to be used for this particular thing? Well, I can give you a basic understanding of that. So, it's actually used through the power of suggestion. Okay. And this has been verified over and over and over again throughout the years. So many people have actually covered dowsing rods that I'm really not going to get into that. But how is it the aspect of the power of suggestion? Well, you're holding on to two devices, right? And if you are subconsciously thinking something, that you're verifying something as yes, definitively, then you're not going to be aware of this, but your brain, if you've already said yes in your brain to the question that you're asking, your hands are going to start moving those devices to cross. And you're going to say that you're not doing it, but it's subconscious. It's through the subconscious mind that you're doing this. That's why it's the power of suggestion. So these, I don't believe, could ever be determined paranormal activity at all. In fact, I think they're one of the worst things that you could ever use to be credible. Again, I'm not disagreeing with them trying it per se. I think he does a decent job here, but I don't find these credible. So those of you that are paranormal investigators out there and you're using dowsing rods, just please stop. They're considered devices of the power of suggestion. Because again, if your subconscious mind, if you ask a question and you've already determined inside of your head that is a definitive yes, those are going to cross. And then they're going to straighten out. the person that's wielding it is gonna say, I'm not doing it. Okay, technically speaking, you're not doing it in your conscious mind. But that's where the power of suggestion comes from. That's how these devices are used. And even a pendulum is used in the same manner. You're actively trying to search for an answer. And again, if you're thinking something specifically, that can translate into your hand movement and you not even realize it. That's why these are not as credible as other things to use. I would actually trust and you guys, if you've been paying attention, how much I don't like EVP work, but I would trust an EVP over these. That should say something. But again, it's one of the old school things. A lot of the investigators that have been around for a long time like to use these. Just understand that if a debunker or a person like myself that's looking for stuff, we're going to look at it and go, I don't know about that. And again, I think he's being genuine here. I do, which is why I'm not really questioning that. But it's the fact that you're using them and the responses that come out of this, you can see as to why I would say that. So let's get back to the video. Let's watch this, and then we'll finish up with final thoughts, because the rest of the video actually is pretty much just a normal investigation. They don't really have a lot of stuff happen after this. They have a few things here and there, but it's just a regular, normal investigation, and they stay neutral through the whole thing. They don't try to sell you on anything. So I'll give you guys props. Good job for that. Good job on trying to not create narratives, to basically just get likes and people to come to your channel. That's a very good thing, and I commend you guys for doing that correctly. It's just this, again, what I've already said, and this are my biggest issues. Obviously, the first issue that I had, is way more important than this. This is something that I would prefer not to see, just because of it's literally historically seen as a device that is used during the power of suggestion. So that's okay if you don't agree. That's okay if you want to call me an idiot for even saying that. That's totally fine. And honestly, it doesn't really hurt my feelings too much if you say that. But just watch. If you don't believe me, just watch. And he's going to obviously say, I'm not doing this. Because again, his conscious mind is not doing it. It's his subconscious mind. So let's get back to this, and we'll see what happens here.
Ask you some questions. Yes or no questions. If you want to say yes, cross them. Spread them for no.
Oh, it's a
Also, see how he's rolling his thumbs there? That's another concern. I don't think he's necessarily doing that here, but just watch the thumbs.
You know who we are?
Of course it does.
That's crazy.
That's
Is it?
creepy. How do you? Oh my god! I don't know.
Okay.
Have you been with us a long time? Is it pressing? Have you? Okay, well, I gotta wait till it resets or whatever, right?
Cool.
Pull. What? Is it saying it's pulling on? It's saying it's pulling with raw. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Do we
course
have
you
an
can.
attachment? Is there something attached to one of us?
No?
Probably because I don't understand what you mean.
Something tried to take me over just now when I was doing Estes Method when I was trying to communicate.
No!
Kate.
Isn't that what I said earlier? What? Why are you surprised? You're doing stuff that's dangerous. Why are you surprised when this happens? And again, notice the questions that they're asking and notice the response.
Oh my.
That was fast.
That was really fast. Oh my gosh. Is it pulling hard?
That was insane. I want to clarify again. Did something try to put... I'm getting cold now.
Me too. What did it say?
Doris.
Doris?
Did something try to possess me?
Adam.
Oh my gosh. It said Adam.
Was it something evil? Did it mean me harm?
What?
It's going away.
No, it didn't mean you harm.
It wasn't evil.
It wasn't evil. Why would something try to possess you if it wasn't
I can't
evil?
believe this isn't working. I can feel them being pushed and pulled.
No, wait. So crazy.
I can feel it.
Oh my gosh. I know that's how it felt when I was doing it.
It's at 11
It said 11 again. Okay, what is the significant...
Yes, that.
Wait, what?
Huh?
No, I just heard something,
What
that's why I
is-
stopped asking.
What is 11?
What is the significance to the number 11? I just thought I heard a kid yelling, but the window would have been like it outside.
Is there a little boy named Thomas here? In this house? A spirit?
Yes.
You heard something say yes?
Yeah, I was a child. It was like, yes. It was coming that way, from that way. That's where his room is.
There it is.
There it goes. Oh my god, I have chills.
Did you hear me?
I did! Yes, I did! I did! Yes, I did,
This
Thomas!
is Sir
Thomas!
real right now.
Tommy! Do you... Okay. Oh, goodness. Thank you so much for responding. This is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Alright. Thomas, do we scare you? No.
No? Good. Okay, we're not trying to
Good.
scare you.
Alright. That's good. Thank you for clarifying that for us.
Yes.
We're not here to scare you. We just want to communicate. Does this house scare you, Thomas?
Yeah, I can see it moving. You know what's weird is that, like, when it goes to move, it almost looks like it's being lifted up.
I can feel pressure.
It's weird.
It's the weirdest experience I've had. Okay.
Holly.
Nice job playing into it, friend.
I'm just getting a lot of names. I wonder if it's like a portal.
The paranormal investigator who used to love this place. Are you here as well? Used to love this room even?
What was that?
Oh, that was my stomach.
Oh, it was your stomach.
Jeremy, are you with us?
Presence.
I just popped my ears. I just like...
Yeah, because you're gasping every 5 seconds.
And it said presence exactly at the same time. I swear you're walking around downstairs.
Is there something evil in the basement of this house?
What is your name?
My name's Rob. This is Kate.
My name is Kate.
Is your name Jeremy?
No. Seriously? Jeremy, is that...
Have they not been asking for this the whole time? Why are we freaking out? Seriously, why are we freaking out? If you're wanting an answer and then you get a verification, why are you so surprised by it? Please explain that to me, because it really doesn't make a lot of sense, you know, for me, because you're asking. The logic says that if you're asking for a response and then it gives you a response, you should logically think about the reaction that you should be having, not a gasp and being freaked out as to What I guess I just don't understand that. But anyways, let's get back to it. We're almost done, guys.
Alright, chills, literal chills.
Oh my gosh.
So fun little fact here, guys. Fun little fact. So I went through barber school years ago, and the whole like chill thing, though, that muscle is called the erector pili, and that's what makes your hair stand up. Just fun fact. Just thought I'd throw that in there real quick. That doesn't necessarily mean, it's more so like a evidence of like fight or flight mode, to be completely honest.
Except it's your wife's superpower.
Yeah, it's a joke with Lydia.
It's my superpower.
when I tickle her, sometimes it'll give her like goosebumps and stuff. But that's what it is. It's the erector pili muscle. It's more of a fight or flight kind of thing. But again, I'm just trying to kind of crack a joke. It probably was a fail, but
I'm sorry for what happened to you. I can't believe his responses.
No, let's just make sure nothing's messing with us.
Yeah.
oh, they're messing with you.
What?
No way! You understand me because you have abilities. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Let's just clarify.
Okay.
We'll make sure it's safe. Okay. Not just something playing around.
Alright.
Okay. Did you?
Minus.
Yeah, minus here. Jeremy, did you take your own life? Is that what happened to you?
Engineers. It's like a hack. It was reluctant. I don't want to keep bothering him. I feel bad if it's really him.
Did this house affect you?
Dorothy.
Did this house have an impact on your life? Positive or negative? Did this house impact your life?
Nothing.
Nothing either way. Maybe
I don't feel anything anymore either.
we might have overstated it a little bit. I don't know. Hold on. All right. One more question and we'll leave, okay? I don't know. I'm so confused as to where I was. Yes or no? Was I being put into a sleep
Died in
state?
battle.
Died in battle?
Was I being put into a sleep state? When I was using Estes Method and I went into this void. Was that the other side?
It kind of looks like it's going towards no. That one's swinging back and forth. A pact? An agreement? Oh my gosh.
Alright, I appreciate you
Thank you for communicating.
utilizing these. It seems that like maybe we've drained your energy a little bit.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna stop it there. the rest of their video is actually, a halfway decent investigation. They kind of started abruptly and it kind of ended abruptly. I don't know if it's just because of the time limit of them being on the property and doing the investigation. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of seems very abrupt. I could be wrong there, but yeah. So you guys, let me get your thoughts, down in the comment section. The first part of this, what we talked about is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed across the board. If you're going to make a commitment to try to have a conversation, whether you believe spirits are in fact a person that passed, or whether it's a supernatural event, when it comes to like being a demonic thing, that's not really what I'm focused on here. It's the fact that you're doing something that you have to realize is considered an abomination, okay? It's not just considered, it is God's word that the Lord God sees it as an abomination. So even if you call the Jesus card, okay, or say, like they said earlier, that they're a child of God, realize that yes, even though you might believe in Christ and that you understand who Christ is, not just from a historical perspective, but from a theological perspective, but you're still doing this, that is a problem. That is a big problem, because Jesus speaks very strongly about this in the New Testament. And again, the only way for us to fully understand as to why God would call this an abomination is using Old Testament to New Testament, New Testament to prove Old Testament. That's historically what's been done since the conception of God's Word. Obviously, the New Testament wasn't written until Christ, but we can see types and shadows of Christ throughout all of the Old Testament. And it's very important that a person tries to stay consistent within their own belief system. So that's my bigger issue here. It's not necessarily the dowsing rods, even though that I think that they are power of suggestion, which is actually within the occults. That's not my bigger issue. My bigger issue is the fact that when you're doing something that the Lord has called an abomination, such as speaking to the dead, doing an Estes Method, which is putting you in a compromised state, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, that you're allowing something that shouldn't be there, access to it. And then a couple of minutes later, obviously, like, that's all we see, but realistically, it probably was like an hour or so that he was probably in this. You have to realize that you have to answer for that. So my suggestion for those of you that are not just content creators, but also paranormal investigators, if you call yourself a Christian, okay, and you believe that Jesus is the Lord, and you believe that Jesus is the reason why we have salvation, and you understand theologically what it means for Jesus to be the propitiation for our sins, that he had to be the ultimate sacrifice for us to come back into communion with God the Father. Okay, but then you're still doing these types of things and you haven't repented from it. That's a problem. Okay, so here's my suggestion. Either leave, if you do these investigations, my first suggestion is if you feel a certain way about something, stay neutral as possible. Okay? Because there's going to be a guy like me that's gonna find your channel, and they're going to basically rip you to shreds because of what you said that you believed versus what you're actually doing. Okay, that's my biggest problem here. This is not a personal attack on either one of these individuals or their channel. I'm just trying to wake up, not just them, but all of these other paranormal investigators. Look, you can't serve two masters. A house divided will not stand. That's God's word, okay? And what does that mean? That means that if you say that you're a Christian, but you're acting as something else, then you're not a Christian, okay? Because that is a house divided, okay? So understand this when you try to make certain claims. Because again, a guy like myself will find it, and they will correct you. And that is our duty. If we are truly believers in the gospel of Jesus Christ, that is our duty to do that. So this is for the concern of your soul that I'm having this response. This is the concern that I have for people that proclaim the gospel and then go around and do this, something that God says is an abomination. Okay? Understand that this isn't a personal thing. This is just a fact thing. All right? And yes, I do feel very strongly about this. Okay? As should everyone else. Inconsistency in worldviews is not something that we can take for truth. Okay? And again, am I saying that they're not being truthful? Yes, I am. Because you can't do something like talk to the dead or talk to spirits and use these devices to make it easier, and then turn around and say that you're a child of God. Doesn't work like that. Okay? So, I just want to make this very clear, okay, that if you are a paranormal investigator and you have said things like this, or you do these things, don't expect there to be a super positive reaction, okay? If a person studies theology and a person studies apologetics and studies how a person understands worldviews, because you will be called out on it. Rest assured, you will be called out on it. And again, I am giving you guys credit where credit is due. When it comes to you doing the rest of the investigation from where we stopped on, I don't have a problem. I don't, genuinely. You guys don't really find much. You may get some noises here and there, and you may get some voices and a few other things. But I generally don't have a problem with the rest of it. My biggest problem and my biggest concern is for your soul. Seriously. So, I hope you guys have profited from this video. As always, like, share, and subscribe. That's how we know that you guys like these videos. That's how we're able to continue making these videos. And hopefully you guys take the truth that I have said in this video and you actually apply it. Because it's not going to work well for you if you don't. Okay? So, and also too, this is my last point, and then we'll part ways for this video. Okay? Understand that if you're having any type of mental issues or physical issues or spiritual issues, the biggest thing that you can do is not do it alone. So I highly encourage anybody that's struggling with any aspect of medical, mental, spiritual, try and find the right people in your life. Try to find a local church that you can be a part of so they can build you up and they can pray for you and they can be with you. I can honestly say, and Lydia will agree with me on this, that we would not be in the situation that we are without that. Okay? That's extremely important for your soul and for your and for just your overall health, to make sure that you have the right people in your lives. So if you are struggling, if you don't have anybody locally, email us. You can find a link to our email in a couple of different places, one of which is on our YouTube. You can go to our podcast, which it's the same email, link to both of those. So please, I highly encourage, if you don't have anybody to talk to, if you don't have anybody around you, please reach out. And Lydia and I will do everything in our power to try to help. Okay? Just know that I mean this from literally sincerely and from the bottom of my heart, guys. But like I said, with all this being said, I hope you guys actually enjoy this video, enjoy the content. I know that this one is a little bit different than what I have been doing. I felt it was necessary, not just for the benefit of these investigators, but for the benefit of everyone that watches this stuff, because consistency is key. Okay, like I'm not picking on anybody that isn't a Christian here. What I'm saying is that if you're going to be a Christian, there are repercussions for false statements. Okay, and doing a practice that is blatantly not Christian, that God literally says is an abomination to him, and then you turn around and try to play the Christian card. That is what I have an issue with. So here's some advice out there, and then we'll end this video. Here's some advice. Don't bring your religion into it if you can help it. If you truly want to do an investigation and not have somebody like me, to come and basically tell you that you can't do that, keep your religion out of it and just do the investigation. Really, all a paranormal investigator is an investigative journalist. That's what we do in our podcast. That's what we try to do when we do this. And again, like, this is the only video that I've ever seen of this particular group, and I wouldn't have had an issue until that happened. That was the biggest issue, as you guys know, and as I've said multiple times. But with that being said, we hope we hope that you guys continue to enjoy this stuff. I know that this one again was a little bit more brutal than usual, but as I have already said, I probably am repeating myself at this point. The only way to support us is to like, share, and subscribe. So until next time, check you guys later, and may God bless your souls.